Greetings, my friends, and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George, and today I'm reviewing the brand new 10th studio album from UK metalcore, now post-metalcore or post-core, whatever the hell it's called. Rising Stars. They've gone from being very much a support slot act, always doing the rounds, always doing the little clubs and little studio venues, doing the festival rounds, to within the space of a few albums, a few years, being a arena headline band, one of the biggest and without a doubt one of the best bands in their field. I'm talking about Architects, and this is a classic symptom of a broken spirit. This album, with its very interesting, plain, uncomplicated artwork there, is a very diverse, very colourful, very, shall we say, surprising album. Now, I've been an Architects fan for a number of years. However, I have only recently picked them up again after not listening to them for could be a couple of years at least. And I have not heard last year's For Those Who Wish to Exist, nor had I heard Holy Hell, the album before that. The last album of theirs I heard was All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. But I absolutely loved the early albums, from Nightmares through Ruin and Hollow Crown, through, I even liked The Here and Now, an album which was quite criticised and got a lot of stick in the press and by fans because it was a lot more melancholic, a lot lighter, a little bit more melodic than the predecessors. But then again, I absolutely loved Daybreaker, absolutely loved Lost Forever, Lost Together. Amazing album, or whichever way around it says. Amazing album, amazing bands, amazing band, and then absolutely loved All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us as well. So from listening to those albums where they were definitively metalcore, they were very aggressive, very heavy, to this album, there is a massive transition. This album is peppered with breakdowns, traditional metalcore symbol that it is. That is absolutely the metalcore defining moment. A breakdown riffing. But this album is very electro synth heavy. It's very industrial. There's a lot of industrial, almost Rammstein sounding moments throughout the whole album. But this album is definitely a heavy album. It is a heavy album regardless of clean vocals or electro synth moments, as I've previously mentioned. I mean, the opening track there, Deep Fake, when that kicks in, it really does get things going. It's a heavy metalcore song. However, if you just heard the intro and the first sort of 30 seconds of the song, then you would think this is some sort of, pop song that could easily be on MTV or whatever radio stations there are playing pop music, Kiss FM or Heart or whatever the hell crap that is. But yes, that does not sound like a particularly heavy song until it really kicks in. We get these big industrial riffs, these big heavy moments there. It's really good guitar work. So some great vocal performances as well. Second track is far heavier, Tear Gas. We do have some really good vocal work, as I've just mentioned. Sam Carter has got a great mix of clean vocals, and he can do shouting, screaming, aggressive vocals. He can do them both really well. Stylistically, he is a great metalcore vocalist. The riffs on Tear Gas, when that kicks in, those big industrial riffs, it just brings to mind Rammstein. Certainly huge, groovy, metallic, crunchy riffs. Really good stuff. Spit the Bone is another heavy moment there. It's a good, heavy song. It's almost got a bit of a Treyu vibe to it in terms of having like a punk kind of groovy, rocky sort of edge to their metalcore. Atreyu, one of those bands that weren't ever really a 100% streamlined, generic metalcore band. No, they had a lot of other different elements going on there, and for some reason, Spit the Bone just reminded me a little bit of Atreyu and their sound. But it's a heavy song. It's a good song, a really enjoyable tune. Burn Down My House, another good song there. Very different pace-wise. It's a much slower song. Some very interesting different vocals going on there, but again, another good track. Some of the other really quite prominent moments, because the album does seem to get heavier as it progresses. I would say Living Is Killing Us is a great song as well. When We Were Young, another good one. But Doom Scrolling, you don't really have to think too hard what that track could be about. Doom Scrolling, of course, anti-technology obsession with our mobile phones and tablets and things. It's a very good metalcore song. It's heavy, it has its heavy moments, it does have its electro sort of moments and lots of background stuff going on there, but it's a good number. Things do definitely get heavier with Born Again Pessimist and A New Moral Low Ground. Both are very heavy songs, both have some seriously hefty riffs, very weighty, very industrial again, some very heavy aggressive vocal work as well. All the Love in the World is very anthemic, this big chorus that you could easily chant and sing along to. Not as heavy as Born Again Pessimist, for example, but it's a really good track, definitely. But the heaviest number has to be the closing track, Be Very Afraid. That is a very heavy moment. We get some seriously heavy guitar work, brilliant stuff, very aggressive vocal performance, very strong stuff. But yeah, the musicianship is great throughout. There's no faulting the musicianship. It's just that it has changed quite a lot stylistically over the years, but it's really good stuff, and they still remain a metal band, a metalcore band. You just take a track like A New Moral Low Ground, which has an absolutely delightful guitar solo towards the end there. Brilliant stuff. It's metal, great musicianship. I would say that if you are not familiar with Architect's early work, then this album doesn't sound like any of their previous material that I have heard. Don't know about that for Those Who Wish to Exist album, but for at least the first 7 albums, this doesn't really sound a huge amount like Architects. But at the same time, because of Sam's vocals and because of some of the guitar tones, you can tell that it is Architects. They're just moving with the times, they're evolving, they're not just replicating Hollow Crown and Ruin, just releasing and recording the same thing over and over again. They're exploring other avenues. They are trying new things, new sounds, new styles. And actually, I think it works. So Architects, a classic symptom of a broken spirit, is definitely a heavy metal album. It's a metalcore album, definitely, or post-core, whatever the hell it's called now. I know it's all evolved and changed now. But this is certainly heavier than what their big contemporaries, their biggest competition, shall we say, to the top spot, Bring Me the Horizon, certainly a lot heavier than anything that Bring Me the Horizon have done in recent years. That is for sure. I would say this is a damn fine album. It's well worth a listen. Just over 40 minutes long. If you like industrial metal, you like metalcore, check this album out. Definitely worth a listen. So what do you think of this album? If you've heard it, let me know what you think. If you're not familiar with Architects, not familiar with this album, check it out, give it a spin, give it a chance, let me know what you think. I'm interested to hear. If you are interested, a couple of standout tracks, a couple of recommendations. I'd say those first 2 tracks, Deep Fake and Tear Gas, definitely worth listening to. Doom Scrolling, Born Again Pessimist, A New Moral Low Ground, and Be Very Afraid. As I've said before, when reviewing some of these metalcore albums. I do naturally gravitate towards the heavier tracks, the heavier music, so those tracks are the ones to check out if you want it heavy. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. Feel free to like and subscribe, and do check back soon for more reviews, more words of all things good and heavy. You take care now. Stay heavy.